Hey guys, welcome to JPT. I'm Carson G, and this is Just Plain Tech. In today's video, this is an easy explanation of Linux. First off, Linux is open source, which means that anyone from around the world, companies, communities, volunteers, whoever, can contribute to the code of Linux. This means that it not only advances and moves forward much quicker than Windows or Mac OS, but it also receives security updates and patches as well as new features much faster than other desktop operating systems. Aside from running really well on new computers, Linux can also do really stellar on an older machine. Rather than running an outdated version of Windows, you could run a modern version of Linux and have better security, better speed, and stability on just about any computer. Linux and its software are developed by companies, communities, and volunteers around the world. These developers make most of the software free and open source, so there's no paying for it, full-fledged free software. Downloading apps is also much easier on Linux. Rather than searching the internet for an app to download, you can just go straight to the software manager, type in the app you want, and download it straight from there, completely free of charge. And yes, and for those of you wondering, yes, Linux does have alternatives to things such as Photoshop or Microsoft Office. Most Linux distributions come pre-built with LibreOffice, which is an Office suite alternative to MS Office, which, yes, is capable of reading Google Docs and MS Office documents and files as well as its own. So it's compatible with everything, it's completely free, and it comes built in right with your system. No Microsoft account or signing in or fees or anything. It's just an Office suite, how it should be. And yes, Linux supports most modern apps and games. For those of you wondering about web browsers, most Linux distributions come built in with Firefox, as it is open source, but you can also get other web browsers such as Chrome, Chromium, Opera, Brave, pretty much any other web browser. Microsoft Edge is not currently available, but it is coming soon. Now, there isn't just one version of Linux. There are actually many different variations of Linux known as distributions, or if you like slang, distros for short. And each distro looks and behaves differently than other distros. Some are meant for beginners or an average user who just wants to use their computer, while others may be meant for business users or advanced tech-savvy people or gamers or whatever. There's guaranteed to be a distribution out there for you. And like I said, because it is open source, Linux gets much more security patches and updates. And not as many people use Linux, so it's not as big of a target for hackers. So those two big reasons right there make Linux far more secure than Windows or Mac OS do. That means no antivirus is needed. You do not need to bother with antivirus. Bottom line, Linux is free to download, free to use, and it is superior to other desktop operating systems. I highly recommend you switch to it, and if you want to, stay tuned for our upcoming videos which will tell you exactly how to do that. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you next time.